I don't think the bees are edible, no. But we could try. You probably don't get a lot of meat. They don't have a lot of meat. It's probably like eating a crab. You know how crabs, like you just suck that tiny little meat out of their hollow little bones? You know what I mean? Like it's so much work to break a crab down and just suck their meat out. I bet that's what it's like eating a bee. Like if you could get a bee that was the size of a crab, like how much meat would you actually be able to suck out of its bones? I don't know. Somebody could probably do the math. I bet Leo knows. I don't know. I feel like I wouldn't have the stomach to eat a murder hornet. I feel like a bumblebee is like more docile. I don't know why I would be okay with eating something a little more docile like a bumblebee than I would be a murder hornet. Why is that weird? Okay, so here's my question. Would I be okay with eating the meat of a murder hornet if it was just served to me like a steak? Right? Like I don't have I'm not just chewing meat off of a murder hornet leg. It's just delivered to me in a form that I can't tell that it came from a hornet. Would I be okay with eating it? Probably. Tiny steak, yeah. How many bones do you think a bee has? This is a thought experiment, guys. This is a thought experiment. That would microwave. That would ruin in the microwave. Listen, this is simply a thought experiment. I don't think that bees have bones. Okay, so here's the thing about frog legs. I think that frog legs... Yeah, there's definitely a weird... There's a weird thing about eating frog legs, for sure. I've eaten frog legs. My dad took me out frog hunting one time, and we had this tiny little, like, metal boat. This is all I remember. I was, like, maybe 8 at the time. And we had this tiny little boat, and we were in this tiny little stream. And I mean tiny little stream. Like, the type of stream where this tiny little boat, like, the sides almost touch the banks on each side. It was this tiny little stream, and it was nighttime. And I had to use the flashlight. I had to flash the flashlight around where my dad told me. And then he would shoot the frog with a 22, I think, if I remember it correctly. Now, I might have just described a felony. I don't even know if you're supposed to flashlight frogs to kill them. But yeah, I remember hunting for frogs with my dad. It was fucking weird. And then he, like, cleaned those frogs up, and he, like, fried their eggs, and we ate them. Well, I don't know if it... well, hold on, Robert Stipe. I don't know if the goal was to blind the frog so that it could dodge it couldn't dodge the bullet, right? Like, you gotta blind the frog so it can't dodge the bullet. I think it's like the way that the eyes are reflective. It makes it like... I would shine it around, and when the eyes, because there's those weird kind of reptile eyes, when the eyes were reflected, it was easier for my father to see to be able to shoot them. I think that's what it was. Frog legs are weird tasting. Yeah, they're a little gamier than chicken. But my father always, they heavily spice them, which is a weird thing. My father would like salt and pepper the shit out of them and cook them with garlic, and they came out like spicy. Really good spicy. But for some reason... because it's like a weird core memory that's been imprinted on me, I have the belief that, like, I associate frog legs with spiciness now. Like, as if, like, in my brain, if I went out and I just killed a frog and I cooked its legs in just butter, I would eat it and it would be spicy. I know it isn't true, but it's just something that my brain kind of correlates in a weird way. Frog legs are spicy. That's my thing in my head. Oh, it's called giggling? Yeah, there was... Your Depression-era grandma loved frog legs and turtles. Turtles, like... Snapping turtles are fucking terrifying, man. I was, when I was in the Boy Scouts, all right? In, like, 9th grade, I was in the Boy Scouts, and we did this thing that was called... Wait, what the fuck was it called? Wait a minute. It was... Hold on, I'm going to describe it to you. It was a thing with canoes. It was 50 miles a foot afloat. I got a badge somewhere. This is 50 miles a foot afloat. And we went to Canada, And we would put our canoes in a place, and we would canoe someplace like all day, and then we would portage, where you take your canoe out of the water and carry it on your shoulders. It's fucking miserable. Don't ever do it. And I remember we stopped at this place, and I was so thirsty, and I knelt down, and I put my canteen in the water. Thinking back now, 100% chance there was brain-eating amoeba in this water. And I put my fucking canteen in the water, and then out of the depths of the water, a thing started to form, like a shape formed, moving at me. And the shape had a face. And it was a massive turtle. Like, here I am, exhausted, just trying to get a little bit of wah-wah out of this nasty, probably fucking listeria and diphtheria and probably chlamydia in this water. Now that I think, and leeches. There were definitely leeches. And I try to go get my water, and it's this thing just like forms out of the depths. It's like, that's what makes me understand what thalassophobia is. And I fucking leapt back and screamed. Oh God, it was actually terrifying.